Let me just get this light on here. I know it's not the best quality, but... Hey everyone, I'm back. It's been a couple of days. It's been well over a week since my last video, so I apologize for that. But I felt like I needed to upload. Excuse me. No, I don't have that. I got sick going in my throat. I was just drinking a whole bottle of water out there. Excuse me. Anyway, I wanted to come back because I haven't made a video in a little while, and I felt like I was inching away from YouTube. Not inching away, just I wasn't on it as much as I should have been. So I want to get back to it. The video I want to post today is something that I was talking with a bunch of friends. Well, I should say not recently, but over the last month or two, on and off, and we all came to a decent consensus. Is that it seems as if the two-party system in America is for the most part dead. Now, obviously, you know the two-party system I'm referring to here, you would be the Republican and the Democratic Party. Since the 2016 election, when you look at what the Republican Party stood for and what the Democratic Party stood for back when Obama was elected first, they've changed drastically, both parties. And in the process of the last 12 years, it's like society, through the manipulation of both these parties, has created two other parties. And it's the radical left, you can call them, and the radical right, however you want to put it. It's more like when you think about this, we have four parties now. We have the classical Republican Party that values conservatism, that values all those ideals, fights for Second Amendment rights, taxation is theft, 100% across the board. But they value these things. What made the Republican Party for the past, well, you don't know how long, recent memory, has now gone to, some of them have crossed the line into the far right, or the radical right, which you can say some of the conservative values you can't really put on a scale in terms of a, like how do you say you're for Second Amendment rights, but have that be on a scale, right? You're either for it or you're against it, which I get to an extent, but there are people that are 110% with their belief, and it will not change no matter what. Now that's fine. This is America. You can do that. But the classic Republican Party, I'm going to start calling it the classic Republican and the classic Democratic, because the classic Democratic is the same way. Now you have the liberals, which is bad terminology to use anyway, but it's liberals or the far left or the radical left or however you want to put it. A lot of the people who you can point out that are for a lot of movements, I'm trying to put this lightly today, that fight for the voice of others, supposedly, and they do, but then they take it to another level to where it's out of bounds. I should have wrote this down beforehand. I'm going to get called out for this. They took it to a level of almost anarchy, and that's what we saw with Chaz, I think. Was it? Yeah, I think it was Chaz. And of course, they say against the system, tear society down. We don't like your laws. We don't like your rules. We're going to tear this down and make our own society. And the first thing they did was build a wall to keep everyone else out. The second thing they did was arm their security guards. And the third thing they did was made sure that news stories broke that there was a crap load of violence in there, and if somebody was in there and they said something they didn't like, they beat the shit out of them. I think it was an overall 7 deaths that happened. It might be more. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Check me. um, but yeah, so you have the radical left, the radical right, the classic left, the classic right is how I'm going to put these categories. Now the problem is the people in the middle, the people that are leftish, rightish, are feeling like their voices are being silenced. And I know this because I tend to be a little more progressive, but there's a lot of right wing. I don't say right wing because that makes it sound extreme. There's a lot of Republican values that I like, conservative values. Number one being Second Amendment rights. You know, I'm not left on that really whatsoever. Second Amendment rights are the Second Amendment rights. You know, I think you should know how to use a gun if you have one, and I just don't think you should touch that. Reform. Like I said, I'm open to hearing anything, but I just haven't heard a reform option that is well thought out and overall will be more effective. And there's one argument that I always go to, and it's a legitimate argument. If you make it harder for everyday citizens, right, to get a gun, to get a firearm, you're not helping the issue of criminals having guns. They're already criminals. They're going to get their hands on a gun. That's just, that's logically, it's kind of how it is. Like I said, I'm open to hearing something. I don't think you should touch the Second Amendment in terms of that, but I haven't heard legislation that's made me go like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. That doesn't really infringe, and it, also, I haven't heard that legislation yet. I don't think anything they propose to help with the bad aspects in terms of the violence that is done with guns in the United States criminally. I don't think anything they propose yet is going to help. I think a lot of it is going to just hurt people trying to protect themselves on a larger scale than it is going to help. Let me circle back here because I'm going all over the place. Circle back to the the two-party system being dead. As I was saying, I am a little more left, but there's a lot of things I go right on. And here's the problem. Those people in the middle right now, when you have the radical left going at the radical right's throats and the radical right going at the radical left's throats, and it's just constant clashing, and they're always right or they're always right, and no matter what, they're not going to move. Now you've got these people in the middle here that are like trying to talk to their left friends and, trying to talk to their far right friends, and they're like, no. As soon as you try to do that, you try to talk something kind of rationality to them, boom, you're not here anymore. You're on the other side. You're the enemy now. Like that, because you don't 100% adhere to philosophy of 100% of their views. It's this mentality of like the 1940s in Germany. It was like, if you're not with us, you're against us. Listen, whoa. That's not how the U.S. works. That's the most un-American philosophy you could have. The key thing is we're supposed to be, I've heard America called a melting pot. I've heard it called a mosaic, which I think mosaic is a little better, but then it still leaves, when you think about a mosaic, it's pieces, right? It's pieces, and you zoom out, you get a big picture, of America. But when you zoom in, you see all the little pieces, and it's everybody's different. It's like that's beautiful. Melting pot is kind of like, I didn't like that one because it's kind of like, well, okay, you blend all together. I get what they're trying to say, but it's more representative when you go zoom in, you look at the pieces that makes up America, and then you see America as a whole. It makes more sense. But as soon as you go against, and I know it's been this from the left, and it's been like, for instance, my girlfriend is right. She's pretty far right with her views, but she's not to the extent of radicalism, because she'll hear my arguments out, and I lean a little left. Like, she'll hear me out We've come to things where we're like, okay, we meet in the middle on some things. We get each other's viewpoints. But I know she has talked to some of her radical right friends, and I've talked to some of my more radical left friends, and it's the same thing. I instantly was chastised from being a Democrat because I argued something that I don't want to bring up, but I argued for something and happened the last couple months that really got under their skin for some reason. And these are people that have known me throughout my entire high school career, college. I was instantly chastised. It was like they were calling me things they knew that I wasn't. It was like, what's going on here? I'm just trying to have a conversation. And that's the problem. When you get these far radical, and like I said, you can have those opinions. But it's overall when you're not willing to have an opinion and talk about it to potentially better or maybe critically think through stuff. That's you can't just have your opinion and then not be able to talk about it. That's the meaning of this. We're all supposed to have our own opinions, but you're supposed to be able to discuss critically and work through stuff to better America, not say we got one or the other over here and like they ain't moving. That doesn't help anything. So the two-party system, I believe, while you can go to the box or to the voting booth, and while you can place your vote for Democrat or Republican, you can hit that button down the line. Republican, vote Democrat. You can go individually. While you can do that, this country's not on a two-party system anymore. I say four-party, but it's three. It's radical left, it's radical right, and, well, no, I think four is better because you have the classic left and the classic right. The classic left and classic right want to talk just because they want to get shit done. But the radical left and the radical right don't want to talk. And they really don't want to talk to the classics. Because once they talk to the classics are dead to them. People that want to talk through stuff, it's dead to them. It's unfortunate. And what's going on with the world right now in terms of a certain virus, which I can't mention the name, and what's going on right now with that, all the internal and external anguish that's going on throughout the country, and the political, it's almost like a political civil war at this point, and it's not fun. It's not to laugh at, but it's unbelievable, and that's why I'm kind of scoffing, because I'm just like, I can't believe what we're in right now. I don't know, folks. I don't know where we're headed with this. But I just wanted to make a video, talk to you guys a little bit, tell you all about this storm that's brewing in my head. I wanted to bring it to you guys, see what you think. Please let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Please leave a like on the bottom of this video. And if you stayed for this whole thing, thank you. I appreciate you. Please subscribe. Like I said, comment, leave a like, and share on any social media platform. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook will be down below. You can follow me on any of those. And I guess that'll be it till next time, guys. I'll see ya.